it's happening again. Call of Duty are going to delete all of your progress in DMZ. So all of that contraband you've been saving up, gone. All of those keys that you've been saving just in case you need them, gone. All of those mission items, because that was a super cool new feature that you could grab the mission items and save them for later, gone. All of those missions that you were working on, trying to build up to get to tier 5, it's all gone. Just like at the beginning of Season 2, we're getting a full DMZ wipe. At least this time we know a little bit more about what to expect, but there's also a couple of kind of worrying things that Infinity Ward tweeted out, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. If you do enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. So let's go through each of the Infinity Ward tweets as they tweeted them. First of all, they said there are many exciting additions coming to DMZ in Season 4. They don't really go on to talk about what those additions are, but they've said that there are exciting additions, so I guess we just have to trust them. They say, in the next tweet, updates will include a refresh and reset like that of Season 2 in order to make room for new mission sets and the new upgrade, Redacted. So when we did a creator call at the beginning of, I think it was Season 3, they mentioned that part of the reason they had to do one of these big kind of mission resets, as they call it, is that they were adding Sheikah Island. So they were adding a new map and they needed to do a reset and sort of replace all the missions and make it so some of the missions were for a Sheikah Island, and they added missions for Building 21 because that didn't have any in the first season. So that does make me think maybe we're going to be getting a new map, maybe we're going to be getting something else. I know there's a bunch of leaks about next season floating around the internet. You don't need to post them in the comments below. I'm not really interested in leaks or anything like that. But it does say we're getting a refresh and reset like the one in Season 2, so at least we know what to expect. We know all the things that are going to be gone, and they go on to elaborate that a bit later. The interesting thing in this part of the tweet is when they say the new upgrade Redacted. Now, the cynical part of me wants to think that's going to be the new upgrade bundles, that there's going to be more of these bundles that give you some kind of upgrade in DMZ. I really hope not. Maybe it says something like rewards. Maybe with the new missions, they're going to do something where you get stuff like the stuff from those bundles. You know, you get special operators, special weapon blueprints that have some kind of perk. That could be kind of cool. You know, you do something like, oh, you complete tier 5 of Redacted, and now you get a UAV at the beginning of every game because you completed that mission. That would be a fun thing to work towards. I'm not sure if that would take away something from all the people that bought the pay-to-win bundles. To be honest, I don't really care. But maybe that's how it's going to go. We don't obviously know what that redacted word is going to be. In the past, when they've done stuff like this, it hasn't actually mattered. Like, it doesn't really make any difference. They don't really write these tweets with the idea that people will work it out. They'll just tell us more about it when they're ready. It also says in that tweet, faction mission progress will be reset in lieu of the new ability to earn faction classified. Now again, I know there's been leaks and stuff like that with this. I know people have been talking about what this one is, but I'm not interested in sharing leaks now. But I don't think it's something incredibly exciting. It might be. There might be something that, you know, we don't really understand yet that'll be really cool. But it's not something that I'm super excited about, the idea of just earning something new, like a new little counter to make go up. So in the next tweet, they talk a little bit more about what the refresh will actually entail. They say contraband key and mission inventories will be emptied, insured weapon slots will be reset, as we introduce new ways to unlock them. So the contraband key and mission inventories, we already knew about, that's kind of expected, but insured weapon slots will be reset as we introduce new ways to unlock them. Now I feel like I'm being super negative in this video, and I think it's just because over the last month we've obviously had DMZ kind of take a bit more of a negative turn with the pay-to-win bundles, kind of giving us an idea of where they see DMZ going and setting a kind of worrying precedent for it, really. That's made me a bit more cynical about all of this. I'm enjoying DMZ less than I was before. It's still a fun game mode. I still had fun in this game you're watching now. I just recorded this morning, so I'd have something on in the background. And it was still a lot of fun just playing with randoms and running around getting in a couple of fights. But it definitely, like, the idea of, oh, I'm doing all of these missions and then they get reset again, and then some people are getting an advantage because they're just buying an advantage, that kind of sucks. And so when they say insured weapon slots will be reset as we introduce new ways to unlock them, I'm worried that the new ways are buying them. That, you know, we have 3 insured weapon slots. What if now you get one of them for mission progress and then the other one you have to buy, like those active duty operator slots? That would really suck. Maybe there'll be a different way of doing it. Maybe there'll be like an item in the game world that you have to collect that will give you an insured weapon. Maybe they'll do something where, like, you buy a weapon that is an insured weapon using in-game money or something like that. That could be quite cool. Like, we don't know. We don't know what this is going to be. God, I took ages to snipe this guy. I'm sorry. This took so long to get the shot. But I did get it, so that's good. But yeah, we don't know what this will be. I'm just worried that it will just be another thing where you spend COD points to get one. Then at the end of that tweet, they say, earned rewards such as blueprint skins and calling cards will not be affected. People always ask this. They're not taking away your cosmetics. Any things that you've earned in the game, so skins and stuff like that, will still be there. That's not being changed. We never know whether they're going to keep the sort of cosmetic rewards from previous seasons in this one. So if there's one you particularly want, you've probably got a couple of weeks to try and get it now. Otherwise, it might be gone or it might come back. We don't really know. Then in the final tweet, they said, stay tuned for all the intel on Season 4 of DMZ in an upcoming blog post, which kind of goes without saying that they'd do that. But normally when they say there's an upcoming blog post, it's less than a week away. So hopefully we'll get that sometime next week. And obviously I'll do another one of these videos to talk about that and talk about what's going on and what they reveal then. But yeah, so my impressions of this whole kind of announcement, I'm a little bit disappointed that we're getting another reset. I understand why it can be a good thing. Like, the Season 2 reset had lots of good effects on it. The missions in Season 1 were bad. Like, I think a lot of people might have forgotten how bad those missions were, but there were loads of missions where you had to, like, get 30 kills with a specific gun at a specific range, or there were loads where you had to find loads of items that were super rare, and they were just very, very grindy. They took a long time, and they weren't fun. The Season 2 refresh missions were much, much better. But it was still a little bit tedious for people that had finished everything in Season 1, like I did, to go back and then have to do quite a lot of the missions again. A lot of the missions were reused. So things like Caved In, you know, where you're taking the boat into the caves and then picking up the document and swapping it. That's something that I had to do again. And, you know, I'd already done it a few times with teammates and things like that. That was a little bit tedious. And I'm not super looking forward to having to do that again. I'm glad the missions will probably be better. You know, as this goes on, as DMZ goes on through beta, they do keep learning more about what makes an interesting mission, what makes a difficult mission. And so all of the restructuring will probably make it better, but I'm not looking forward to doing a load of those missions again. I think this is quite punishing to people who spent a long time getting through those missions, that now they're just taking all of that progress away and saying, yeah, well, now you get to do that again. Isn't that fun? And I think it's even worse for people who maybe were in the middle of it. People who maybe played DMZ once a week or once every fortnight and were slowly working their way through the missions. Maybe now they're on tier 3 or 4, and then they've been told, oh yeah, in a couple of weeks we're going to delete all of that progress, and then they'll just be put back to square one. I can imagine a lot of people just refusing to play anymore. Like, it's the sort of thing where if it happened in a lot of games, you know, if it happened in World of Warcraft or something, if Blizzard just turned around and said, oh yeah, we're deleting your character, you can start again, that would really, really suck. And I get there's an argument where some people say, oh, well, new players will be a bit intimidated that everyone else is super far along and they might not want to start now because they feel like they've missed the boat. But that doesn't really apply in DMZ. Like, people might feel that way, but in reality, like, I've finished all the missions, and if I now go back and play with someone who hasn't finished all of the missions, someone who's never played DMZ before, it doesn't really make any difference. We can still play together. I don't have any big advantage over them other than having, you know, the extra insured weapon slots and things like that, and the map knowledge and the experience. But in terms of the fact that I've completed extra missions, doesn't really make any difference at all. It's not like something else that resets, you know, like Tarkov have their big resets because people build up this incredible armory of weapons, and then when it resets, everyone's back on the same footing. That doesn't really affect DMZ very much. Like, on DMZ, how many missions you've done doesn't really change the amount of power you have within the game. So it will be kind of annoying for people, I think, to get put back to square one like that. And if this change does put some people off from playing, if it stops people from coming back because they're like, oh, well, all my progress just got deleted, what's the point of doing more because it's just going to get deleted again, and they just stop playing, that's bad for everyone. The server population going down is really, really bad. It means matchmaking takes longer, there'll be more lag, less investment in the mode, lots of bad things. So I suppose the hope is that it will bring more new players in. But I'm not sure if it will. I'm not sure if it will bring in more new players than it will lose old players, if you see what I mean. I genuinely don't think there's that many people playing DMZ. I could be wrong. I've never seen any numbers on it. But the fact that matchmaking is taking longer and longer, and every time you try to match up at the same time as your friends, you'll definitely get into the same game as them now, it seems, makes me think there's not many people playing this mode. And so if it loses more people, that could be really, really bad for it. It's kind of at the point of DMZ where I wouldn't be that surprised if the mode just kind of ends after this year. If it's something, you know, like Outbreak or Fire Teams that we've had in previous Call of Duties, where it was like an experiment, they try it, it didn't make them loads of money and they abandon it. I hope that's not true because I have a lot of fun in DMZ. It's probably my favorite way to play Call of Duty right now, but it does feel like they're struggling to do things that are likely to attract new people. Now, what I'm hoping for, to end this on a slightly more optimistic note, is that there's some really exciting new features. There's something that's going to keep people playing. There's something that's going to draw people in, whether that's, you know, something that people have been asking for, like having a base like Tarkov that you can build up over time, some sort of meta progression, whether there's some kind of trading or something that you can do with other players with super rare items, whether they're going to make like the guns and stuff that you find in game much more exciting. They might even just get rid of insured weapon slots altogether, which I think would be a really good thing. I've seen lots of popular DMZ streamers like Stod and Westy and Fixate all starting to play it with ignoring the insured weapon slots and just using contraband, because it's more exciting, it's more fun to play that way, because then when you find a gun in the game, it means something, rather than just always bringing in the best gun with you. So maybe they'll be doing something like that and it'll be absolutely amazing. Here's hoping. But these tweets so far have got me kind of worried. Like I said at the beginning, let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. I will definitely be playing the new season as soon as it goes live, and when they put up this blog with more information about DMZ, I'll do another video where we'll have a bit more information to talk about. So, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye!